Top 10 psychological anime. Let's go. 10. Bokurano. This anime is what you would describe as what if. What seems to be a normal slice of life type of anime turns a 180 degrees into an amazing psychological story about human nature and raw human emotions with a lot of drama incorporated. The story tells us the life of 15 children when faced with the unthinkable reality of being the saviors of Earth. By winning each battle against the enemy, they postpone the destruction of Earth. However, after some time they realize that no good deed goes unpunished, and they start to crumble towards depression and the imminent future that is ahead of them. Knowing that no matter which path they choose, they will be doomed, we get to see how humans would react and what would change their nature under dire circumstances. This anime is, in my opinion, a piece of art. We can see the human nature and actions without embellishing the scenery. It is what it is, pretty unusual in that there are no heroes or villains, just a bunch of kids fighting for what they believe is right.
すげえな。ワク、早めに戻った方が。分かってるよ。じゃ、見つからねえうちに戻るか。
お前恥ずかしいんだよ。違う、軽くやっただけだ。押してない。本当なんだ。信じてくれよ。何見てんだよ。
何すんのよ。
Number 9. Kuchu Buranko. This is a really strange and metaphorical show, and you sort of have to watch it with an open mind. The premise of the show is depicting certain types of mental illnesses and how this one very outlandish doctor treats them, using very unconventional methods. They also animate the main voice actor for each episode as the main character, which is something I haven't seen before. Kind of funny and sort of bizarre. This anime is definitely not for everyone, as most anime on this list, but if you're into the cult and B-movie subculture or just the plain weird, then I would definitely recommend this.
ズバリ典型的だね。はあ。
なんだか難しそうな病名ですね。しかし頑張りすぎなどのストレスの高い状態にいると誰でもなる可能性のあるよくある病なのです。あなたもなるかもしれない。いえ、日々頑張っているあなたもすでにかかっているかもしれないのです。申し遅れました。私フジテレビの福一です。メンタルヘルスの現場から専門家にご意見を伺い、ちょくちょく解説させていただきます。今後ともよろしくお願いします。
あなた、心の病。帰りて。
Number 8. Sankyo no Terra, also known as Terra in Resonance. This anime takes away the spotlight for this summer 2014, according to many people, including myself. From the outset, this anime presents us two rather mysterious anti-heroes, 9 and 12. Despite the lack of depth, which is totally to be expected considering Sankyo no Terra is only 11 episodes long, you can't help but be drawn in by them. Lisa is also drawn in by them. Being a rather timid and weak person, Lisa is desperate to escape her reality, and is finally given the opportunity by the obscure duo when she decides to become an accomplice. This show's strong point in my opinion are the riddles they give and the fact that in order to stop the terrorist acts, these riddles must be solved. The riddles get the audience active and it seriously gets you thinking, what in the hell are these two guys really up to? Number 7. Serial Experiments Lane. Psychotic is a very good word to describe this, not to mention eerie, difficult to comprehend, not easily understood, weird, just plain weird. The main point of interest in the first episodes is how a student commits suicide for no good reason and then people start getting emails from her. The story revolves around Lane and her adventures in dealing with a system called The Wired, which is a mix between the internet, the media and the Matrix. I really don't know how else to explain it. Serial Experiments Lane is an excellent example of a great psychological science fiction anime. It really isn't fluffy or lighthearted in any way, shape or form. It is one of those deep animes that you would typically have to watch over a few times to really understand, but that's something I like about it.
届いてたな、レインのナビ。
早く片付けてくださいよ。邪魔なんだから。
食事が済んだらセットアップしてあげるからね。このナビは私が自分で使いたいくらいだよ。
パパ。これ今セットしてほしいの。
おいおい、どうしたんだい急に。レイン。そうしよう。
Number 6. Ghost Hound. Ghost Hound is a rather strange fish to contend with. At its beginning, the anime sets up its stall as a downbeat psychological chiller. It is a psychological supernatural anime as main characters are more into visiting the unseen world via out-of-body experiences. You're told about how your brain works and about the scientific point of view about dreams and memories, and it's all necessary to have a better understanding of the plot and things behind the scenes. The mix of the spiritual world with psychology generates some very bizarre and abstract results. Though it was complicated, it never seemed to contradict itself and it left plenty of room for my imagination to roam. The use of various sound effects, their inputs and their constellations creates a universe of its own. Number 5. Acanohana. If there is one thing to say about Acanohana, it would be that it is definitely out of the ordinary. It could be described as a quietly disturbing psychological evaluation rather than a typical high school romance. The psychological design, the development, the emotions, it's all there. And where it definitely does not make for a mushy, lovey-dovey emotional experience, it's memorable for sure. Everyone somehow plays a role in this psychological evaluation also helps. Whereas the main cast is small, the side cast is no less important in setting up the atmosphere and helping the plot character development along. Not everyone will like this, however. Whoever saw any kind of discussion forum over this anime might have guessed as much. I especially can't seem to speak for the manga readers out there, and even for those that don't know the manga, Acanohana is an anime that's pretty sure to provoke some mixed feelings, and even more than sure to make people think. Those prepared for that might find it well worth the time, yet even though I was totally hooked, I certainly cannot speak for the majority out there. I found this to be a great psychological drama and I'm eagerly waiting for it to continue. I appreciate it being experimental, but those who expect something modest but ordinary should shy away.
何それ？
ボードレールの詩集、悪の花。俺が最も愛する詩集。この本には闇の感情が渦巻いている。この街にいる平凡な奴らには一生理解できないような哲学が。これは俺そのものなんだよ。これが俺の作文だよ。
黙れクソ虫。春日君、私はガーッとグワーッと春日君のそのままが出たぐっちゃぐちゃな作文が読みたかったの。春日君、佐伯さんのおっぱいに顔を詰めたでしょ。体操着も匂い嗅ぎまくっていろんなとここすりつけまくったでしょ。ズブズブのド変態でしょ、春日君は。なんなんだよ。
わけわかんねえよ。昨日といい今日といい、何考えてんだよ中村さん。俺は違うんだ。こんなもの今すぐ焼却炉で燃やしてやる。離せよ。なんでだって。
どんな気持ち？
Number 4. Ergo proxy. Some who say such things would be absolutely correct. This story is about finding out who you are and what matters most to you, going to the ends of the earth and back. It's never an easy to find new sides of themselves and a new heartbeat which will keep them together. The plot moves along quite nicely for the first half of the anime, then kind of takes a break and says, that's enough. Though only half of an episode is given to the resolving of the plot, it didn't seem rushed or hindered at all. It's one of the very few anime series with such a permeating atmosphere. Text and lies. In the underground city of Lucas, a dreary land submerged in desolation and despair, those with power assert their will through force and intimidation. Years of isolation from the surface have led many of its people to forget their origins, however, and while life has gone on in the city, it has become a crumbling ruin. One in which corrupt organizations squabble for control and in which the destitute starve in the streets, or scrounge together a living by fighting for the entertainment of crime syndicates. When deciding to whether or not to describe a series as dark, it is worth considering to what extent its internal despair is counterbalanced by humorous and romantic moments on the part of its characters, as well as other elements that may temper the unpleasant realities it presents. By these standards, then, the haunting experience that is Text and Lies surpasses probably every single other series I know of. It is a story of the violence within human beings and the allegorical fate of a race destined to loneliness and ruin as a result. It is encapsulating and deeply fascinating, but it is a show that will hurt you as you watch it. The world of Text and Lies is one in which one's opening up only brings more pain. Any romantic feelings that arise appear to be desperate and are doomed to bring the people involved to ruin. Full awareness of the state that the world is truly in only brings despair. It is thus intriguing then that the story is told through the viewpoint of the one character who is given any sort of hint that a different world might have been possible. Text and Lies is anime's most profound tale of the horrors of the human psyche, and among the most haunting, beautiful, and sad stories among its output. If approached with caution and with a hot cup of tea to console yourself with afterwards, the rewards are considerable. Indeed, it is a series that takes a considerable amount of work to watch, one that would almost certainly benefit from a second viewing. If nothing I have said has dissuaded you, then cautiously proceed with it, for it is among the most fascinating anime ever produced, if among the most unsettling to watch.
いいのかい？僕の分まで。
Number 2, Gyakyo Burai Kaiji, Ultimate Survivor. Wasting his life away gambling and not holding down a job, Kaiji is the lowest of the lowest. His pathetic existence takes a turn for the worse when he finds out that a collection of agencies is after him for a loan he had co-signed for a friend. He is given the option of repaying back the entire amount of the loan, or he can board a secret cruise and gamble his way out of poverty. Kaiji gladly signs up the cruise, not knowing what terrible fate awaits him if he loses. Concerning what this is really about, it's literally about betting more than just money but your life. This anime has pitch black undertones where the darkness doesn't come from violence, but from the true feelings of people within. It really shows us that we are no more than animals hiding in human clothes, reflecting on the nasty sides of human beings and what kind of monsters they can become when they are in big problems, and how far they are willing to save their own ass at the consequence of others. Yet the good people are those who keep their morals and good sides no matter how many times they get stabbed in the back. Kaiji for the win.
俺とあんた
組む
そうやこのギャンブル生き残るにはパートナーが必要なんよきちんとしたパートナーさえ見つかれば 100% 勝ち残れるセットオープンあっちゃーなんちゅうミスを勘違いしてもたすまへんカイジさんすまへんしゃあない次で帳尻合わしましょう次これで勝負するさかい
ああ船井はこれから出すグーのカードをひらつかせながら黒服の手前形の上だけだと言って星を一つ持っていった
チェック
なぜ
セット
せめてこの時気づいていたら
オープン星一つが何百万ってねで売れるんや
船井勝負開始後わずか20分カイジは命同様の星を2つわけのわからぬうちに騙し取られた船井船井ふざけんな返せ俺の足返せ離せ
何してるお前らやめろ離れろ
浦井
落ち着けなんだ一体
こいつが愛子の約束を裏切って
アホだなあんたは俺の何やものの5分も話さんかったのに友達にでもなったつもりか甘ったれが俺はおどりを取って食うだただそれだけやクソが騒ぐなゴミ虫
何
よせ
Number 1, Monster. Here is a long series well with its hype and reputation. Monster's 70+ episode length is quite a commitment considering the 5 days it took me to complete the series. I don't advise letting anyone under the age of 15 watch it at all. That said, the story in this anime is brilliantly written and it is engaging. It will draw you in and cause you to watch 10 to 15 episode marathons without even realizing how much time has passed. The dialogue is the key to this anime. Like with other dark anime in the same vein, Death Note, the dialogue is what drives this anime. Character development is quite complex in the world of Monster. You get plenty of depth into the past of many of the characters, their thoughts, morality, and their psychological state. The show makes a strong point of mentioning that in the worst possible situations the human psyche endures will lead one to have a monster burst out of them that can be just as cruel and deadly as Johan. If we find ourselves unable to accept the darkest parts of our psyche, then we are prone to madness if someone were to exploit these deep flaws. The show doesn't preach over whether or not any of the characters are right or wrong in their mentalities, as what they had to endure could happen to others in real life as well. And for that much depth, I have to give Monster kudos. In terms of visuals, Monster features a diverse number of realistic European settings, creating a nice diversity in the scenery. Large cities, beautiful fields, and forests, not to mention small towns, are just some of the settings you can find yourself seeing. While much of the show takes place in Germany, you can also expect Monster to show off some locations in France, the Czech Republic, and Slovakia.
俺が何人殺したと思う 実は俺も覚えてないんだ。まだガキの頃さ。気がついたら組織の人間になってた。盗み、恐喝、何でもござれだ。しまいには殺し屋になってた。褒美でうまいものが食えたからな。あの日も同じさ。いつもの通りだった。真っ昼間のカフェだった。何人目になるか知らないどこかの誰かさんに俺は照準を合わせたんだ。その誰かさんはコーヒーを頼んでいた。そして砂糖を入れ始めたんだ。1杯、2杯、3杯、4杯。その5杯目の砂糖を入れたところで、俺がいつも飲んでるコーヒーの味が口の中に広がったんだ。誰かさんはそれをうまそうに飲みやがった。そんなもんだ。そんなもんで俺は人を殺せなくなった。
There are some other series I wanted to put on here, but ultimately chose not to. I did so to refrain from going full psychological on you guys.